Hello and welcome to Hayter Institute of Education. I'm Christina Esteban. I am the Thursday evening lecturer for our Certificate 4 in Alcohol and Other Drugs, or we'll refer to it as AOD. We are kicking off with a new subject tonight, provide brief interventions. So a little welcome and an induction for those that maybe haven't been to class yet with Hayter or myself, a little run through of what we do and what to expect from class in general. In the spirit of reconciliation, Hayter Institute of Education acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. If you are working in the field, you might have seen this already. If not, you will come across a high disproportion of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that we'll work with. So it's really important when you start to think about different aspects of culture and what culture represents. People from an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander background fall into that cultural aspect of something we need to consider and keep in mind when we're looking at interventions and how to work best and support people from different backgrounds and different walks of life. So by the end of this session, you will understand the class structure, class expectations and practices, what to expect when you are studying, assessments, self-care plan, and where to go to get support. So a few things around what our class structure looks like and what we expect of students and what we'd love to see. So we want to hear from you. This is your class, your learning space. This is for you. All of the lecturers are here to teach you the content and maybe provide some past experiences or current experiences, respond to questions that you might have, and help you develop and grow into this space in the community sector. So if you don't put in, chances are you're not going to get out a lot. So we want you to put in as much as you feel comfortable to do. So that's asking questions, that's sharing stories, that's helping our peers within our space to learn and to grow together. So please be interactive in the class. There are times where I'll ask for a response, and there are times where I'll say, please interrupt or please jump in at any point if you have a question or want to provide some extra content or clarification to something that we're talking about. We do like cameras on. The online world can be a little bit distant. If you haven't worked with any peers so far at Hayter, I'm sure you will come to experience it is a really inclusive community. People are really engaging with each other, whether that's inside of class or outside of class, and you'll see that for yourself. And I encourage you to develop connections with your peers. And when we're in this class space, we keep our cameras on so that we have that engagement and connection with each other. Now, if you need to use the bathroom, if you need to shove a burrito in your mouth, you might want to turn your camera off for those events. But otherwise, keeping at your desk or your place of work and have your camera on, please. We are a professional classroom. So yes, it might be after hours, and yes, we might be online, and yes, we'll have a joke. We must have a joke and enjoy ourselves. But please ensure that you are professional in this space. Please don't be cooking dinner. Please don't be tending to your laundry needs. Please be here and present in this space. If you cannot be present in this space for life reasons, that's okay. That's understandable. It might be best suited that you catch up on the recording a little later on. But when you're here in front of your laptop, your computer, your TV, however you're streaming this lesson, please be present. We'll take 2 breaks throughout the night and we'll gauge how we're going in time and energy and how you're feeling. So around 7 for our first break and around 8 p.m. for our second break. If I feel like everyone's falling asleep, maybe we'll break a little earlier. If we are powering through content and information and tasks, maybe we won't take a break at all. And sometimes I'll give out working breaks too. So I might give you a task and make that task time a little bit longer, and I give you the space to go and take the break as you need it. Please don't smoke or vape in our class space. If we were in a classroom, you wouldn't be doing that. If you were in a meeting with your colleagues in the workplace, you wouldn't be doing that. If you were working with clients, you wouldn't be smoking or vaping. So please don't do it in this class space. Even if you are the only person in your physical space, it's still respectful to everyone else online. Sometimes some content might bring up some feelings for you. I like to call these ick feelings, you know? Maybe they remind you of a past experience. Maybe they remind you of something that's happened before, you've seen, you've been involved in, something you've heard, something you've witnessed, something from social media, anything. The word trigger lets us know that something has happened before, and whatever we're doing now is bringing up some stuff for us, that ick feeling. So please look out for yourself. Self-care is incredibly important, and taking the time for you. This work is very demanding and very rewarding, but you need to ensure you look out for you. So if in class time there is some information, there is some activity, there is something that's shared that is a little bit ick for you, please look after yourself, whether that's turning off your camera for a few moments, or that's going in and getting something to drink and just changing your scenery and then coming back. Whatever you do, I encourage you to send me a message. Just send it privately to me saying something's feeling a bit off. You don't have to tell me what it is. If you want to, I will keep that confidential, but please just send me a message so I know that you're okay. I really want to care about your well-being, and I do, and I want to make sure that you are safe and comfortable in your space. And if there's anything I can do to help in that moment or later on, I'd really like to do that. Please maintain respectful relationships with our colleagues in our class space. That's your fellow students, and that's myself, and that's all the other trainers and admin staff and everyone else at HADA that you come into contact with. Sometimes we get upset, sometimes we get angry. That's okay, we're humans. Let's make sure we are communicating respectfully and acting respectfully to each other. And we've talked about it, but be kind to yourself, make time for you. Whether that's painting, music, sports, being outside, make sure you take time for you. The philosophy of this course is that it is self-directed learning, which means you have full control of your learning. We provide the content, we provide the classes. It is up to you how and when you engage and what you take from it. We are adults and we're in this adult learning space. And so we look at adult learning principles where you are internally motivated and self-directed. You chose this course, you chose to engage in this work. That's bringing up something for you, your reasons for being here. So acknowledge that, and we acknowledge that in that this is your learning and you're driven to be here, and we want to support that. We manage different viewpoints professionally. Not everyone likes what everyone says. Not everyone agrees with what everyone says. Now, as long as we're not rude and disrespectful, it's okay to have different opinions, and it's okay to share those respectfully. Sometimes we can learn. Sometimes we don't know that there's another viewpoint and we've seen a different side of something. That's okay. And it's okay to say that's not for me, but I appreciate where you're coming from. I respect that. And that's it. We don't need to argue. We're not going to argue. We're going to respect everyone. We have flexible, supportive, and safe learning environments for all learners. So if there's something that would benefit your learning experience, please reach out to either myself or the admin staff or another lecturer, because we want to make this your space and the best possible learning experience for you. So if it's a case of having closed captions on during the lesson, if it's a case of less words, more discussion, more videos, whatever it is, whatever would help you learn, please let us know, and we'll do our very best to accommodate that. There are so many ways we can learn. Yes, we'll put up the content, but we can do that in lots of different ways as well. There are expectations of you as learners, and we've covered that in terms of cameras on, being respectful in class. Let's try and turn up on time to class. It is disruptive if we've got people coming in and out. Sometimes work happens, sometimes life happens. I understand that. But where possible, if you're coming to class, please turn up on time. The expectations of your teachers is that we'll be on time and we'll deliver the best practice for you. And self-disclosure is generally not encouraged in our classroom discussions. You might have a peer group where you might share things, and that's okay. When we want to share something, I encourage you to think about how helpful or beneficial or necessary is it for me to share this. We don't want to think of class as like our own therapeutic space. Sometimes people learn and grow about themselves by the sheer nature of studying something like this. We want to be mindful that everyone's experiencing their own learning path, and what we say might affect other people. So if we're thinking about stuff for us and you have a thought to share it, please take a moment to think about how beneficial and necessary is it to share in that forum space. So there are two types of motivation. We've got intrinsic and we've got extrinsic. And our intrinsic motivation comes from within. And this is our drive, our desire to achieve something. And we've got extrinsic that comes from outside factors. So this could be people, the environment, different spaces that we're in. We're drawing motivation from outside of us. Both motivation elements are great and necessary. I encourage you to think about where you're at in attending this course, where your motivation is. We can fall into two categories of mindset: fixed and growth. So if you have a growth mindset, you believe that your intelligence and talents can be developed over time. In a fixed mindset, you believe intelligence is fixed, so you don't succeed at something. You might believe you'll never succeed at all. There is a little video here. Please watch that if you're watching the recording back or you're seeing the slides later. It's quite informative. But think about your learning and where you're at. And is there room to learn and be open? Or are you recognizing yourself as a little closed? And that's okay. Just check that and check in, and all part of that self-care around where am I at and where do I want to go. So it's completely normal to feel excited, overwhelmed, ambitious, stressed, anxious, and to overthink lots of things. And there's lots of learning to come. So again, acknowledge those emotions you might have, recognize where they might be coming from, think about it. You might want to share with me, or you might want to ask some questions around, is this where I should be at, or whatever comes up for you, and that's okay. It's completely normal to have so many mixed feelings. You will have many styles of assessments. You might have in-class discussions, which are not necessarily marked. You might have activities, group tasks or individual tasks, role plays, class presentations, online quizzes, and breakout rooms. Some of our assessments are informal, where we look at your engagement and your knowledge that you share. And then we have our formal assessments that contribute to your grade and completing the course. All learners are expected to participate appropriately in all of these activities. And successful outcomes of competence or not yet competent can impact on the commencement of work placement. Work placement is a big part of this course. You need to ensure you're working well towards that. We have a variety of assessments and the assessment requirements and dates that they're due and extensions and when you get your results and things like that. Please check in with the assessment sections of your learner books around what each particular assessment is asking of you. Please make sure you read over things thoroughly and ask for help when you need it. Please ask for help. It's not bad, it's not wrong, it's not shameful. It's going to help you. We want to. So if you need it, we're there for you. We have rolling enrollments at Hayter Institute of Education. So you might see new peers every couple of weeks in your class, and that's okay, because people will jump into subjects at different times throughout the course. So if there's something that maybe I'm speaking about that you aren't aware of yet, please reach out to me. Please check in. didn't quite understand that, seemed like there was prior knowledge, I can help you through anything. You can make an appointment with me through Calendly. At the moment, I'm not taking appointments. So when you watch this video in April, I'm not taking appointments at the moment, but in due time, I will. Please reach out to LSO at Hayter Institute to make an appointment with another trainer who can assist you. And we are here to provide a professional, supportive, safe learning environment, but we can't change the content, and the work is the work. Pardon me. So please be mindful that it's there for a reason. It's there to help you learn. It's there to help you achieve this qualification. But how we deliver it, hopefully we can make some adjustments that might suit your learning need. You might have thought self-care was just about sitting on the lounge and binging Netflix all day. And that's one way. If that works for you, fantastic. But we've got these realms of self-care. Sometimes engaging in physical activity helps. Sometimes engaging in the nature and the natural spaces around us helps. Sometimes it's connection to others. Whatever it is for you, maybe it's all of these things at different times. Please check for yourself what's working and what will help you, because there's so many ways to take care of yourself. It could be meditating for 5 minutes or 60 minutes. It could be watching that Netflix show you've been trying to catch up on. It could be taking some time in silence. Work out what works for you and think about the changing needs that you might have as you're learning and studying and working, and where self-care fits for you. But please make it a priority. Just like people in your life, you probably make a priority. Your work, you might make a priority. This course, you might make a priority. Your self-care is just as important as well. So thank you and welcome again to this topic of provide brief interventions. And I will see you in class. Goodbye.